Hi, everybody. I hope you're having a good day. I'm on a little later today because I ended up getting a job. I was on my morning walk today after I dropped my son off for school. I was going on my morning walk and thinking of all of the plans I had for the day, all the things I had to get done to catch up on from working when I did last week. And I thought, oh, this is great. I'm going to get all these things done. And then as I was walking, I got a text. And it was from a teacher who asked me to work half day for her in the afternoon. And I have an app while I'm walking, so it keeps track of how many miles I've gone and how fast I'm walking and how many minutes my pace per mile and my current pace. And then all of it has calories on there too, but for some reason it's not working. It keeps showing zero. So I have to ask my husband to figure out how to get that. But anyway, so that app was running. I had no idea how to hit reply to the teacher. So I thought, well, that's okay. Maybe by the time I get home, she would have found another sub anyway. But no luck. So, and I need to work. I got 2 kids in college. We need to pay for their tuition. So even though I don't really want to work, if a job comes up, I need to take it if I can. So I went ahead and told her I could work, and she hadn't found anybody. So I had a few things I had to get done at home really quickly, and then it was time to pack up and head off to work. And it actually wasn't too bad. Soon after I got there, they were doing silent reading. So they just did silent reading, and then we got to go walk the track again. So I got plenty of walking in today. I walked to school. I did my 45, 50-minute walk. I walked home, or was part of my home. And then I walked back to school. And then I walked around the track. Then I walked home again. So I got plenty of walking in today, so that's good. So I should have burned a lot of calories. Even though it says 0, I should have burned a lot. So anyway, and then after we walked the track, it was lunchtime, so that's not too bad. And then after lunch, we had a couple of rotations. But hi, Julian. But in one of my rotations, one of the little girls, she was not, she was arguing with me. She was done with her work, and it was almost time to go. And I have the lowest Excel rotation in my class today. So there's a couple of aides in the class. So when she finished her work with the aides, she went on the computer to start working on something. And I said, no, you have like 1 minute till it's time to go. So she was totally arguing with me the entire time. So she was going to fall off of her chair. So then it was we get Skittles at the end if we're good. I said, really? You argued with me the entire time and you think you're going to get Skittles? I don't think so. So anyway, and then after that, I had another rotation where we were doing art. We were learning all about Vincent van Gogh. So that was kind of interesting. And they got to draw their own little masterpieces and tried to interpret what Van Gogh did and make their own little painting things. It was in 2nd grade. One girl, let me tell you, oh my goodness, she's a twin. It would be interesting to see how her twin did. But she did the neatest thing. She did an eye. She drew an eye and then did some kind of art all around it. She did an excellent job. You would never believe it was from a 2nd grader. That was kind of a nice way to end the day. Anyway, so I want to talk to you about, that was my day. I hope you had a good day. Better than mine, or hopefully you had a chance to get some of your work done. So anyway, if you ever have any tips about that, I would love some tips about how you get things when you work today, because I have trouble with that and I haven't figured out how to. So if any of you ever have any tips about that, I would love it. You can either comment here, you can comment on the wall, my regular page. You can send me a message. I would just love to know how you get all that done. So anyway, I want to tell you about my post that I just published last Thursday. It is an easy and healthy Brussels sprouts recipe. And I know some of you are going to go, ew, like my students that I have. That's gross. But I didn't used to like Brussels sprouts either. Until like growing up, I did not like them. Whatever my parents made me eat, the smallest amount that I had to eat, I just ate that and that was it. I didn't eat any extra. But you know, you get older and you realize you need to eat healthier, and Brussels sprouts are a part of that because they've got really good things in there for you because they're dark green and leafy vegetables, and they have all kinds of really good stuff in there for you. So I used to eat the frozen ones, but they're a little harsher flavor. And one time they had at Sprouts, a store by us, they had the fresh ones on sale. So I thought, I will try these and see if they're any different because they were much cheaper than even the frozen ones. So I bought them and I actually like them. They're not too bad. They're a much milder flavor than the frozen ones, much milder. They're not so strong, they're not bitter, and they're actually not so bad. So in case you don't know what to do, how to use fresh Brussels sprouts, so what I do is I peel off at least a couple of the outer layers of the leaves on each Brussels sprout before I make them. And just a couple of the layers, you can see, you know, if there's some little brown or something on them, of course I'll peel another layer. But usually it's just a couple outer layers until your Brussels sprout looks good. And of course rinse them all after that. And then you just cut off the end, the stem. And then I just cut mine in half, so that's really easy. And it doesn't take that long to do. The peeling part takes a little while, but not too long. I think all together, the peeling and the cutting only takes about 15 minutes to make enough for all 5 of us for 2 nights, so that's not so bad. So that's how you make the Brussels sprouts. If you have any questions about that, let me know. And then in my recipe, I gave you one where I boil the Brussels sprouts. And then we, let me see what else is in there. Hold on. Let me scroll over here. Make sure I'm telling you everything. So it's only 5 ingredients. It is sugar, parsley, margarine, water chestnuts, and Brussels sprouts. So that's pretty easy. So you just boil it all together. You boil the sugar and the parsley with the Brussels sprouts. Just that kind of helps give it a little bit better flavor, and that way you're not actually eating the sugar with your Brussels sprouts because, of course, that wouldn't be good. But to boil it with it, it helps the flavor a little bit. And then you drain it all, and then you add in the margarine and Brussels sprouts, and then just mix it all together till it's heated through and the margarine is melted. And that's it. It's really quick and easy. And the way I determine how many Brussels sprouts, I just figure out how many each person will eat, and like each of us will eat 4 halves, so that's 2 Brussels sprouts. So I just get enough for, that would be 10 for one night, and then for our second night, since it makes enough for 2 nights, that would be 20. And then sometimes I'll do a couple extra just in case if my husband, he usually brings the on the 3rd night, so we'll have dinner the first day and then the second day, and then the next day if there's still any left over, he will take it to work with him for lunch. So that saves a lot of money. And so sometimes I'll throw in a couple extra Brussels sprouts just to make sure that he has enough for lunch. So that's what it is. I have the recipe for you on my blog, and I will put the link to it later in my comments. And that's it. And next week, I'm already working on my post for next week. It's a review of a devotional for my son. My son and I are reading. It's about the questions that kids ask. It's really interesting so far. So I can't wait to tell you about that next week. And as always, if you need anything, either comment here, comment on my page, or send me a message. And I would love what you need. So I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. And I'm subbing again tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. So I will see you again next week. All right, bye.